Hello and welcome. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me well? Okay, wonderful. Let's see who else is joining. I'm still opening a few windows. Hi, Nicola. Long time not seen. Yay. Okay, let's see. I'll open that. Here we go. Is it chat? Okay, there are a few faces that I haven't seen and a few faces that are very familiar. Everybody who is first time in here, can you raise your hand? Okay, nearly everybody. A few. So I guess there are a few more people coming in. So this is a combination today between the monthly Monday call, what is literally every first Monday per month, where people from the academy can bring friends, and then we can see what we do here all together. And is as well the webinar today that I have put on the same date and same time. What is the Somatic Consent Academy, or more what is the healing power of pleasure in our body when we are sensual, and how to find that. And so I'm combining that here today. And first of all, my name is Matt. I'm the founder of Somatic Consent and the Somatic Consent Academy. And I will show you a few things that related to this dynamics that we do. But first of all, I would like to share just a few words before we share anything about confidentiality. So that you know, I record. So what you see here is being recorded, so that whatever I share, you might find somewhere as videos, but nothing of that what you share or your picture. Hi, Gary and Hildur. So that will be shared, and whatever you say will be nothing what you share will be shared anywhere, so that you know this is a confidential space. On top of that, please don't share anybody else's name or anybody else's experience, but please share whatever you have experienced on your own, or you can share everything that I'm saying. And I would like to see a hand sign so that we can all agree to confidentiality, not sharing anything to anybody. Thank you. And Frederick, could you please turn your camera on that we see you for a moment as well? All right, and you raise your hand. Thank you so much. So if other people join, I might need to rephrase that, but after a certain point, I don't let people in anymore. But there's still people coming. But maybe till we're just starting with anything, because it's a different group today and a little bit bigger group. Hi, Jenny. Maybe you just write in the chat just for a moment, where in the world are you? From where do you call in? From Sweden. And so I will share parallel. I am in Sweden. I live at the moment in Gustavsberg. I'm living here since a year and a half almost, and I love it. I love being in Sweden. Okay, California, Sweden, Germany, Colonia. So I just shared that before to people who were here before. This is the monthly Monday meeting from the Academy that is open for people from the Academy to bring friends, so that you can see what we do and being part of that. And as well combined as a webinar today about consent, pleasure, the healing function of somatic inflow to our nervous system when it comes to sensuality, what kind of weaves in what we do. And we have been sharing a little bit already about confidentiality. I repeat that, who hasn't heard that. So please don't share anybody else's name or experiences. Please share everything that I say. Nothing of that. What we do here, what you say or show will be recorded, but you will see recordings of me, what I say. Okay, and everybody who has not raised their hand before, please, can you raise your hand and agree to confidentiality, not to share anybody else's names or experiences? Okay, perfect, thank you. So then from now on, I don't let anybody else in anymore. That's us then. So, God, there's just the last person coming. I just want to say hello to Clara. So she's from the last year armoring training. Hi, Clara. Can you just please raise your hand for confidentiality, not share anybody else's name or what they say? Everybody has already said that. Wonderful, great, thank you. So welcome to the monthly Monday and to the Academy. So what I would like to start first with is with the hands meditation to show you the essence, the core exercise of this entire dynamic, and we're building the rest of the day or the rest of this meeting, what goes about 90 minutes. We build on that one, and if you have any questions around that in your individual experience, how to use it in relationship or in your profession, if you put your hands on somebody else's body or need some explanation about how proximity works, then this is the place to talk about that. So I will share my camera. I have 3 different cameras. I just want to show a little bit off because I have so much fun doing that. So you have this camera on me. Then we have a camera here where you see my hands and my book. And so this is showing you a little bit how that works with the hands. And then I let you a little bit more in my kind of office desk here in my studio. And so I have a little button here. I just want to show you that here down there. I just push the buttons and then I can switch between the cameras. Yeah. So it's just my little playground. So let's dive in and do the hands meditation first. So I invite you to take something in your hand. I have always a little piece of wood here. Can be anything what it is, can be a remote or anything. And the invitation is to just lean back, sit relaxed. Relax your shoulders, relax your arms. And And how I start that is that I would like to invite your mind as well, so that you use your mind to labeling that object that you have and giving it a purpose, what you're using it for, what it's made for or made of, and so that your mind can be here as well and satisfied. And during this entire time of that meditation, I invite you to choose to keep your eyes open or close your eyes as you like. And while you have that in your hand and you just play around a little bit and just feel it up in your way, you just notice that this object is a little bit cooler or warmer than your skin. So just notice the temperature. And notice the tactile information, the haptic. Is it smooth or is it soft? Is it rough or is it sharp or round? The little bumps on it or curves. So you get a lot of information with your hand when you tap in. But what we're really looking for is a level deeper than that. So when you have that in your hands, then I invite you to slow down your movement by half so that you get really slowly, and sometimes you might even need to stop for a moment. And then start to explore different areas with that object on your hands, or with your hand on the object, maybe between your fingers, maybe your palms, maybe fingertips, somewhere where it feels kind of nice, where it feels pleasant, maybe even pleasurable. And just move really slowly here, and soft, gentle. And when you find a spot somewhere where it feels pleasant or maybe even pleasurable, then I invite you to just stay there, like as if you tickle yourself. So there's no goal here. There's nowhere to get, or nowhere to go, nothing to get, just to feel, to sense with your skin, with your hands. Doesn't mean anything, just to feel and to sense, just for a moment. You might have done that before, and you come in connection with some feelings or with some thoughts. They are all welcome. The invitation is to bring your attention straight back to the sensation there in your hands, just to feel. And again, if some feelings come up, maybe some thoughts or some, maybe even judgments or maybe boredom, or so that all is welcome. Even though everything that might keeps you away from feeling it. Just by acknowledging it, by sensing it, noticing it. So the invitation here right now is to just recognize that you are in action towards a felt sense of pleasure in your skin. So you do something to feel, you do something to sense. And just recognize that for a moment. You're in action for yourself here. Okay, and then slow your movement down till they stop. And just stay there just for a moment. And just notice what you notice within yourself. In your own speed, in your own time, I invite you to bring your attention back to the screen. let's hear from the one of you who would like to share anything that you become aware of, that you notice. How do you feel now after doing this little hand meditation? Anything that was coming up that is worth sharing. So please unmute yourself and just allow yourself to speak. What do you notice? Yes, please, Jenny.
Just curiosity, because I have this letter opener, and I went up to my arms, I was dragging it slowly, lightly, and it was just so pleasurable right here inside my elbow. But on the other arms, I went to the other arm, nothing. So just, I'm curious about that. I was a little surprised, why sometimes one area can be so sensitive and at other times just nothing.
Yeah, interesting.
So, yeah. Curious.
Thank you. Who else? Yes, Christoph.
I was wondering, when you say take the time to feel it, to close your eyes, and so on, I already know that, and I can have a lot of pleasure doing that or other stuff with the concentration and all you need for that. But I was wondering, how is it, or how can you change that, the fact that sometimes you have a thought and bang, you're out. You know what I mean? You're doing something or appreciating your food or something you eat or touching something or somebody and you like it really well and you feel a lot, and at some point, bang, you have a thought and you're just out of this feeling. Is this something you can train? How, you know what I mean?
Yes, we can talk about that after.
Okay.
So was that what you noticed, that you were in it, you enjoyed it, and then you had a thought and you were flipping off? Yes, good. This is a great noticing.
I'm always in my mind and too much in the head, and it's happening, well, every time I concentrate on meditation and with my girlfriend or like you exercise right now.
Yes.
I would like to be able to do that without thoughts popping up in my head.
You're here in the right place. Yeah, thanks for sharing.
It happened to me now, and I really would like to know how do I stop it.
I will put that in the back side of my head and I will come back to that. Thank you. So great noticing. Anybody else with a noticing?
I noticed when you asked to take the object to a place in the hand which was very pleasurable and stay there, that the pleasurable point moved. So when I got there, it wasn't there and it moved. I had to always be moving the object. It was moving the pleasure point. I got there and it went away to another place. Wasn't the same place. And then I have this object. This is castanea nut, and it's very like soft or like very like good to touch it. And then it has this pointy thing here. It's like a spike. And I thought I would just like to touch the softness, but I actually loved using the spike on my skin and like scratch the skin. So yeah, it was fun. I like it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? And every noticing is perfect and welcome. So it doesn't have to be breakthrough. Just the noticing is the is the exercise. The noticing is the key component of what we're doing. We're training, yes, please, Petra. We're training the muscle of noticing. You're still muted, Petra, please. You need to unmute yourself. Perfect. Thanks.
This very beautiful shell that I found under the sand in Indonesia. I was like noticing how my fingers fitted very good in there, and it was really nice to feel like both holding and being held that way. And also on the other side, it's this opening, and I was like, I was noticing this like waiting finger, and here comes the thought, can I share this? But it's like, it's really beautiful to wait here. And I know when we practice like egg practices as women, it's like wait for the yoni to open, it's like, it was very beautiful to just lay there and wait. Noticing the thoughts, wow, can I share this? And then noticing how beautiful it is, like the softness here, and being held and holding. Yeah, so many things. Beautiful. And
Thanks.
also noticing a lot of movements in my spine and neck, and how I could feel my pulse. And different kind of pulses in the body, not only the heart, but the pulses.
Thank you for sharing. And yes, you're totally entitled here to share everything that you notice. This is totally welcome. So we go really deep here sometimes. Wonderful. Thank you, Petra. Anybody else?
I have something.
Please, here, Clara.
Yes, I felt like it was a very different experience if I felt like I was touching the object, or if I felt like it was touching me. I mean, yeah, but I think it came at the end, so I would have to experiment a bit more with it to like really understand how it affected my body. But I could feel like the sense of, I suppose it is like me being more in my masculine, like actually touching, and how that makes me feel, or like being receptive.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. I could feel some arousal as well, like moving in my body. And then like, okay, go back to the head.
It's a little bit too much, maybe.
Too much?
Yeah, so this is what the self-judgment or the self-regulation tells us. Like, okay, I can't share that here, and maybe not, and that is welcome. So I would say this is a level of shame that makes sure that you don't override your own boundaries. Let's say it that way.
Yeah. I'm also new to these calls, so I don't know what to expect.
Yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, is there a last person who would like to share your noticing, or last two? Yes, Christina. Yes, please.
Usually, when I hold an object, I just use it. I don't notice how I feel, how the object is in my hand. It's just an object. I just use it. Most of the time, I only care about how I feel and how the other feels when it is a person or an animal or something. So when I touch something with a purpose, I'm always in between how I feel, how the other feels. So at this meditation, I noticed that I could I could be there for me.
Hmm.
You know, I didn't have to think about how the other is feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So the only one alive was me there.
Mm-hmm.
So I had all the attention inside of me. Um, in my ears, it sounds a little selfish, but I feel like it's a great exercise to be just for you for some seconds,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
feel without thinking.
Yes. This is it's a great noticing. Like Christoph said, just like how can I stop the thinking that I actually can stay there, you know? And that's part of this exercise or this meditation. Is what we do is when we practice that regularly, we activating a certain pathway in our head, in our nervous system, that is going from the thinking process into the noticing process. So what we do is literally, when we do that for a certain amount of time, we start to train that muscle of noticing what we notice. And when we do that for a while, we might come in connection with something because it is related to our feeling center, that we come in connection with feelings that we don't want to have. And before we actually go into feeling what we don't want to feel, because there is sometimes resistance in us, we go straight back into thinking. So it's the confrontation of allowing gradually and step by step to feel and to sense. And then another part is, and I haven't shared that in this meditation today, but there's a saying in there that we have more nerve ending in our hands than anywhere in our body outside except our mouth and our genitals. Yeah, and because there are so many nerve endings in our hands related to a certain part in the brain, the feeling center, that when we start feeling it, we reactivating a pathway, what I call the direct inflow in our nervous system into our brain, that is not the rational functionality, it is the noticing functionality that we activate with that. And what I would like you to do for a moment is, when you take the object back in your hand and just feeling it for a moment, you might experience that this object is outside of you. So you hold it in your hand, yeah, and you notice that your center of awareness is somewhere inside of you, and this object that you hold is outside. This is what most people experience. Now I would like you to try a different perspective, just for a moment. Instead of seeing that this object is outside of you, that you are inside of infinite objects. There are gazillion infinite objects around you everywhere. The entire world is one big object where you picked a little piece of it. So this capacity to move and feel is literally the inbuilt mechanism to create a 3D reality and feel the world around us. And just for a few moments, I would like to invite you not to only touch that object in your hands, to touch the objects around you. So make connection with the world. What is there? And just feel for a moment everything that you would like to feel around you. And just for a moment, and just touch everything. Whatever you want to touch and feel, so that you recognize, well, I am inside of all this amazing things. The entire world is one big object and I'm in there. Wow, I can touch everything. I can feel myself on anything. I can feel with any part of my body everything around me and make connection with this body, with the world. Just for a moment. And then you notice there is infinity. There's no ending to that. And then how long can we stay in connection with this capacity to feel and to sense? So, by saying that, I have many people many times asking me, yes, but where is that exercise going? Why are we doing that? You know, this is just, I get that. I've done that now many times. I can feel it. It's good, but now what? What's the idea? And I was just recently in a training on a retreat where I held a weekend retreat for couples, and where I've built up on this exercise how to go into another dynamic, and that's the so-called permission dynamic when it comes to all the object out there. You know, there are not only objects, there are as well people out there. And before you feel and touch another person, you need from that person permission. And this is, in my world, the foundation when it comes to relationships, that we have given permission and we have received permission when we can feel ourselves to reach out to other people to connect with them. Yeah, and I would like to leave it right there at this point, not going much deeper than that, and then asking you, by opening your mic, where is it landing when you hear that? What does it do to you? Does it sound kind of foreign? Is it strange? Do you think, yeah, this is just common? Or why would I touch somebody and asking for permission? Just hearing where you are with that. What does it do in you when you hear that?
And I would like to share that.
Please, Frederick.
Frederick. Sorry. In my perspective, I sometimes get touched just in a day-to-day life without permission. I would like people to ask more if they talk to me and all of a sudden they touch my arm.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would wish for more people to ask permission to, even in a conversation, to touch me,
Mm-hmm.
even if they're close.
Mm-hmm. So, can I ask you a little bit deeper here? So when you being touched from somebody, just touching your arm when you are in conversation, how does it make you feel? What's the sensation in your body when they touch you without this permission? What's the sensation in your body? What do you notice?
There's tension building up in my body.
Yeah. Where in your body do you notice that tension?
I think it comes from the part that's being touched, and then it goes maybe into my back, maybe like my neck,
Mm-hmm.
my shoulders pulling up.
Mm-hmm. So what's the emotion behind that? What's the emotional expression that you would give that sensation?
First impulse was fear, but maybe that's not really fear.
Yeah.
It's discomfort.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there sadness? No.
No, I wouldn't say sadness. Maybe a bit of anger. Like
yes, this is what I wanted you to. Yes, I was just trying to do that. So the important piece, when somebody is touching you and you have not given permission to be touched or felt, the touch even if it's a pleasant or a nourishing touch, but if your nervous system is not prepared for that and you're being touched against your will, anger is a natural response because it feels like an invasion to your body. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So here comes the thing. We have all, each one of us here, we have all been touched against our will before we could speak, when we were very little. Yeah, this is true for all of us. Even in the best way, our parents or caretaker did that with the best intention to wash us or to dress us or to, whatever they did, but that doesn't mean we always wanted that. And each one of us have learned to make it more important what other people do to us than how we feel about it. Yeah? So here's another person coming back in. Jens were here already. I let him back in. So what is literally the entire consent part of the entire somatic consent work? Just we need to have the capacity to give and have permission to touch and being touched. So,
Matt,
yes.
can I just ask if it's okay if Per joins in here beside me?
Yes, please. Can you please, Per, tell about the confidentiality agreement?
Oh, now he disappeared. Hi. Yeah, I just wrote that in the chat, but yes.
Okay.
I will consent now.
Yes.
I didn't want to be there.
Hey guys, I consent.
Okay.
Confidentiality.
Okay, thank you, Per.
From another meeting with lots of confidentiality.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Christoph, you raised your hands, please.
Yeah, I have another question. I have a lot of questions.
Yes, I love questions.
I'm dancing Cuban dances, well, most known as salsa, and I'm also teaching them. And when you ask somebody to dance with you, so you're asking to dance, and when you're teaching, not all people are coming as a couple. So basically, you have strangers with strangers, probably for the first time, or like 2 weeks or 2 months, 2 years, whatever. And my question would be, could you define what you mean with permission?
Mm-hmm.
Because I could imagine that when I put my students together, without knowing what I just checked now, maybe there is no permission, but somehow you have to dance. And maybe when I ask a person to dance with me, they accept that and dance, but perhaps they didn't give me the permission without knowing themselves. So what is the definition for your topic of permission?
It's a great question. It's a great question. So please, everybody, kind of just like get your ears up. I just make sure that I don't overwhelm you with knowledge here. So the entire structure of somatic consent, I have built that in a, let's say, in a pyramid structure. Yeah, and when you see a pyramid structure from the side, it looks like a triangle. Yeah. And let's say the ground of the pyramid, this is your foundation. That's your capacity to feel and to sense, to use your hands. Yeah. And then you have on top where the pyramid goes together, that's an interpersonal space. And when you come together with a group and you want to dance, it's an interpersonal space of dancing. Yeah. In an interpersonal space where you have collective agreements, clear when people dance and they have a certain protocol, they touch each other in a certain way, right? So you in social engagements, in interpersonal connections, it's not always common. For example, when you meet your family and they come and hug you, even if you don't like the hug, there is an interpersonal protocol how we engage as humans in a way. And the dancing space includes that as well. So I've been in a teaching in contact improvisation where a teacher had similar difficulties, that some people felt invaded by somebody who wanted to touch somebody, and the people being touched didn't want it to be touched. And so that he said, in the beginning of the class, if you feel like something is not appropriate here, then you need to move away. When you dance salsa or any other kind of standard dances, it just makes it more difficult, I guess, I imagine. Was it a hand, Jenny?
Yes.
Okay, one second. I'll just finish that sentence and then I'll give it to you. So the important piece is here that he learned from me in the consent forms to say that everybody in the room is giving permission from other people to be touched during contact improv. And it's your responsibility, if you don't like what is happening, that you move away.
So basically you are saying when you're not in a very personal interaction, but more like in a defined square with rules, like for example the dancing stuff, that you're coming to dance with a partner, so you have to be okay with being touched.
Yes.
So in a personal way you have to define that, and in the rule square it is given, and if you don't like it you can still decide to go away. Yeah,
it needs a kind of an agreement field or a container around that. So talking about the couples retreat that I did, the permission part was I initiated the couples to have a conversation with each other, to share about, and I did that in a demo with my partner, to have and give an holistic permission to the other person to touch and being touched. And you take care of your limits if you don't like it. And of course, you can evoke your permission at any time, but that there is not an assumed permission between couples, because this is what most people do. They assume that there is a permission, what is not always the case. Specifically when it comes to this dynamic of sensual touch and pleasure. So this kind of sensual touch and pleasure is extremely healing to the body, because it opens up the oxytocin pathway and allows us to feel and to connect. It's a very nourishing and caressing experience. But if there is no permission to that, the same experience, like Frederick said that before, when he's getting touched on his arm when somebody talks to him, you can feel that as an invasion. And if you don't speak your anger as expressing your boundaries and say, stop, don't touch me, we swallow that all the time and get that down and stop expressing that we don't like to be touched, because we have all learned what people do to us can be more important than how we feel about that as kids. Yeah. And then we go along to situations, and then we swallow and obey, and not really following up with how our nervous system is actually really responding, what our body is telling us. And this permission piece, if it is not clear, that it cleans that up. Jenny, please.
I just was going to say that I'm taking salsa classes, and I've also tried contact improv. The salsa I feel much more comfortable with, in the sense that I know that I'm going to be touched, but I have a pretty clear sense of where and when I'm going to be touched.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with it. With contact improv, it's much more unpredictable. It gives you a lot more responsibility to defend your boundaries. And I think that's a learning process, how to navigate that within the dance. Not only who are you going to dance with, but yes, this, not that. And how do you communicate that?
Yes.
But yeah, I experienced that. Well, then I tried tango, and tango is a lot, there's a lot more skin-to-skin contact. And that took a little bit of getting used to, but I wasn't too sure about it at first. So just a comment on that, like just knowing ahead of time what you can expect makes a big difference.
Yeah, I would like to add to that as well. When I went to this contact impro class where this facilitator was inviting me to kind of just like to break it down what was going on, I went there with the 4 different dynamics of touch. I'm not going in there here today, but the dynamics is, am I asking people to do something to me or for me? Nope, I'm not doing that. So this dynamic, out of the window. Does people ask me to do something for them or to them? Nope, out of the window. Am I asking person or am I giving verbally, or am I asking verbally permission to people to touch them? Nope, there's not a permission place. But I am giving permission to people to touch me. And so this is the allowance dynamic that is really empowering if we are clear about that, what we allow. And if I'm allowing people to touch me, I'm constantly in the perspective on the position of choice that I can remove that permission at any given moment. And if I don't like what is happening, I either say stop and not an inch further, or I move away, and that's my responsibility. Please, Siri and then Gary.
I might have forgot, but I think, okay, I'll try. I thought about like how much I feel like I want to touch and be.
You got frozen in the middle of wanting to be touched.
Not safe, like setting those boundaries and being clear. So then it's always this like I notice in me like this insecurity of.
Sorry, Siri. You froze in the beginning of your sentence. Didn't come through.
Did you didn't hear what I said?
Nope.
Okay. Did you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. No, I feel like I notice in me this insecurity of actually asking for what I desire when it comes to touching somebody else or asking for what I want, because I might not trust that people actually respect their own boundaries. And then like, I mean, I can always work on me, on setting my boundaries and moving away. For example, I do a lot of contact improvisation, and I feel like that's perfect for me. But like when it comes to other situations, I notice like people like almost like tiptoeing around it. Like they like maybe there's a desire, or maybe there isn't, and but people are afraid to ask, and they're afraid to move closer to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Despite like, I mean, it's this basic human need of needing closeness, but in a safe way.
Yeah, this is so interesting. You know, when I came in 2020 to Sweden, when Corona happened, and then people said just like, we have to go into 2 meters distance between people. And the entire, it's a joke, and the entire Swedish population just like froze in shock. Now they have to go from 5 meter distance into 2 meter distance. So, you know, this entire dynamics about touch, what Frederick just asked in the beginning. So what happens when somebody's touching my arm, even when we talk? You know, this dynamics when I'm in Spain, for example, or was in Brazil a lot. You know, they have a complete different social protocol how they engage with each other. and being around that, changes the dynamics. So you just need to have a look how people do that and engage with their kind of social engagement and social connection, and it's always good to have the antennas open, and when you notice somebody is tiptoeing around you and kind of hesitate but don't know, or you feel, then what's the easiest way to do is just either you just ask, hey, is it okay when I put my arm on you, or is it okay, or you say, hey, if you would like to touch me here, that's totally fine, you can totally touch me.
Yeah, giving permission might be like a good way also to open that.
Yes, yeah.
Then it might feel less like invasive and like, hey, can I touch you? And if you don't know them enough to, like, if you don't know if they're good with their boundaries.
Yes, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, thank you. Gary, please.
Yes, two things.
Please.
First of all, we're obviously a couple, and we attended Matt's couple workshop was about a month ago. And when we were introduced to this concept of permission and boundaries, it was so simple, but when practicing it, I found it opened up an area of permissioning, and that permissioning gave security from both sides, a safe space to play, a safe space to expand. And in that security, I felt a sense of warmth and permissioning, is that we outlined each other's boundaries. So we would excitedly practice that afterwards. And more recently, I was introduced to Hilda's children, and we talked at length about that kind of permissioning we would conduct in front of her children for the first time. And I feel by discussing it beforehand and during, it was very helpful for that initial introduction. So, because of course, me being introduced to the children the very first time was a very important time, and to discuss this beforehand, how we were going to conduct ourselves, really, I think, led to a very, successful meeting, I would say. It was a very good time. But I will add to that, is that since then, that was only last week, we're on holiday in Gran Canaria together, just for ourselves. And it's something I've forgotten to do. And I believe attending this weekly call is a reminder that I can't ride on an assumption, that for me to reinstate the fundamentals of permissioning and touching, I don't assume, because I'm give the right for Hilda based on context as well as mood. So maybe she gave me that mood, that permissioning about a week ago, we defined, or the week before. I can't assume, okay, I have that permissioning now on holiday.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I haven't done it. This is a reminder how it's important for me to do so, because again, it brings in that area, that great weight of safety that I want is so important.
Mm-hmm.
I believe
Mm-hmm.
in our relationship.
Mm-hmm. Can I respond for a minute? Yeah, it's like at the Orgasmic Blueprint Couples Retreat was just like when I shared that with my partner, that I have this holistic permission, and this holistic permission gives me the safety that I can reach out, and for her the safety to reach out. But as you said that, that goes so quick that we can drop into this area of kind of telepathic agreement or assumed permission. And whenever I feel not sure or she doesn't feel sure, the best way is just like having a recheck-in or a reassurance, and just like, hey, our agreement is still in place here, right? Just simple as it is, just like, hey, are we still on the same track here with what we do? Yes, yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. Petra's hand and then Nicola.
It was about what we talked earlier, but it was just a funny thing that I recognize. I don't know if that like that anymore, but when I was in Tokyo 1996 or something, it was like they don't say hello touching the hands. They never touch their like hands of someone on the street or some friends, if they're not very close, I think. But what they did was so funny that they fell asleep on each other on the trail, on the railway, on the on the metro. They were sitting. They could sit like on long roads. They were just on each other like that. So it's very interesting to see.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we would never do that in Sweden, but we're shaking hands. So it can be so different.
Yeah,
what is in see what how is like.
Yeah, the cultural differences is just like it's astonishing kind of when you see that in different countries. Yeah, thanks for sharing. I appreciate.
Leading into strangers and just sleeping.
Yes, and then waking up just oops.
Oh, he has to leave. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Someone else.
Nicola, please.
Yeah, a funny story came to my mind, and I'm also a little bit excited to share this. But I sometimes like to put myself in uncomfortable situations. So I like to play on sex positive events, right? And I had this one event where I was reaching out to come closer to female bodies. And I had this thing that I thought I would really like to play with a nice female breast. So then there was a kind of friend, I knew her from other events, and she had this wonderful formed breasts, and I was like, oh, they are looking really good. And I was circling around her for at least a day, and I felt so like, oh yeah, I should ask her, I should just, have the courage to, she can say no, she's been to the consent workshops, and, and she was also a lot younger, and I had this, maybe I'm a greedy old woman pattern going on, and all these things circled around my head, and it was really hard for me to do that, and finally I did, and she was like, yes, sure. It's like everybody asked me about my breasts because they're so nice. She was so used to this, and so yeah, she let me do that just for I asked for 10 minutes, and we had a wonderful time laughing and around that, and but that was the whole patterns of, oh my god, what am I asking for? What does she think? I'm a greedy old woman. Why am I asking for this? Judging myself, It was like it went on for a day till I managed to ask her.
Thank you. I would like to guide you in a little exercise. Yeah, all together. Are you ready for that? Yeah. Okay. So what we have done here with the object, so you feel the object, and this is obvious. Everybody has access to that to a degree. So here comes the question. When you touch another person and feel yourself on the other person, what is in the way? What is the obstacle? What would hold you back? So touching an object is one thing. This thing can't give you permission. But what holds you back if you have a person next to you you want to be close to, or you are close with, you're intimate? What is the obstacle that you don't touch the other person, or what makes it difficult to touch another person and feel yourself on the other person? And I was curious what comes into your mind. And please unmute yourself and just speak it in. That's totally fine.
For me, it's often, am I welcome, or do they like this? It's okay.
Am I welcome? Do they like that? Yes. Christoph.
If the person can see that you are touching, maybe the eyes or some movement, or you can see the person is just,
So they respond. They're kind of just like if they're kind of just.
Yes,
Oh.
just like the hand is going to bite you, and
Yeah.
it's just a monster.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
the person is just with the eyes just moving a little bit, or with the body
Yeah.
getting in some kind of fear.
Yeah. Fear. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Who else?
I think for me it would be mostly the fear of being rejected.
Yes. Fear of being rejected. Yes. Please, Alan.
Well, my right hand touches my left hand. Often they work together on the same project. And there's no permission needed.
No.
But I seek permission when I touch another, because I want confirmation of shared consciousness, that we both share that urge, that feeling to be there right then, right now. So it's a social confirmation of shared consciousness.
Yes. For you personally, Alan, if I would ask you, let's say there would sit a person next to you and you would like to touch this person's hand and feel their hand like you felt the object, what would be in your awareness an obstacle that would make it difficult for you to feel somebody else's hand sitting next to you?
Well, I don't think that there's an obstacle. I think that there's only confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be that they feel the same way and would share the experience, the ambiance of being together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I would seek.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it could be a very cold and clammy hand.
Yes. Yeah. Can I ask a little deeper?
Sure.
So, if you have a desire to touching somebody else's hand sitting next to you, what would feel difficult for you to do that? Is there anything that would feel difficult for you feeling somebody else's hand?
Only that there wouldn't be a shared interest in doing that.
Yeah. So it would hold you back if you don't have the confirmation that there is an reciprocity in desire to touching each other's hand.
Reciprocity is
Yes.
the key word.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absent reciprocity, there's no parity.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's parity that we share.
Yes, I like that. I like that. And sometimes we need to have the autonomy that is independent from reciprocity.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That was great. Anybody else?
Yes, for me,
Gary.
I think it's the whether it's the strength of the want. If I just want a preference, yes, I would like. But if I want, and the more I want, then I'm unlikely to do it because I wouldn't be ready for what I would perceive as a rejection.
Mm-hmm.
However, if I, in a frame of mind, a more healthy frame of mind, if I have a preference and I'm ready to accept their saying no, because then that, for me, I would then interpret that in a healthy state of mind as them stating their boundaries and be totally acceptable for them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it would please me, yes or no, because I'm of that state of mind, that is a preference. It's not an over-wanting desire that I need a yes for that permission.
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, so let's assume we are all empowered human beings and we are all embodied with this practice, and we can all touch and feel ourselves, and we might have access to asking permission. But maybe not all the time. It just depends on the situation, depends on the person, depends on so many factors. But the question to you guys is now, why is it difficult for you to ask for what you want? What is difficult for you? Why is it difficult for you to ask for what you want? Specifically, wanted to touch somebody else sitting next to you. Why would you not ask if you wanted that?
Judgment.
Judgment, yes. Can be any judgment, or do you have one in specific?
Needy, being judged of being needy.
Being judged, being needy, yes.
Gross. Be the worst.
What else?
Fear of rejection.
Fear of rejection. What else?
Maybe sometimes people use it as a kind of power over other people.
Tell me more.
If you don't ask, if you just touch, and the other person is getting fear.
So that when you don't ask but you do it, that you just gain power over the other person.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Okay. So the not asking for what you want would just like giving up the position of power. Wow. Okay. Well, I haven't seen it from that perspective. Great.
And doing it again with the same person,
Yeah.
Three times, just to have the power over another people. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Yeah. Thank you.
I feel like it's like shame is a big part also.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I ask about something and the other person says no, and then I feel shameful that I wanted to. Like I'm ashamed that I asked.
Mm-hmm.
Go into the future and play out the scenario, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Shame is difficult.
Yes. Yeah. Anybody else can relate to shame? Pretty much everybody, I guess. I have that too. Okay, one or two more. Why is it difficult for you to ask for what you want?
For me, the fear of being vulnerable and like showing what I truly need and desire. And it also would be like fear of making them uncomfortable. I think. But it was also interesting, this thing about I don't remember your name, but about taking away somebody's, like having power over somebody, and that also. So I'm gonna think about that.
Gary, please, you were about to unmute yourself.
Yeah, someone already said something along that. For me, is the fear of being transparent, to really express what I really want, and have that exposed, and then the fear of rejection, judgment, in that perspective. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go into another question. If you don't ask for what you want, what are you doing instead? Please, Jenny.
I'm suffering in silence. Suffering in silence.
Suffering in silence. Per.
I think I'm projecting my wantings on the other person and trying to please that person. That's one alternative.
maybe it has to do with needs. If you would ask somebody, hey, can I touch you? Can I touch your hair? Can I touch your hand? Whatever. Probably the person will ask why. And what do you answer?
That's a great question. One of my teachers just said, just like, well, it's not the question about why, it's the question about how. But if I would just bring that back, if you don't ask for what you want, if you want to touch somebody next to you and you really want to touch them, but you don't ask, hey, can I touch you? What are you doing instead if you don't touch them?
Well, you're not fulfilling a need. If you want to touch somebody, you maybe have a need of proximity, of feeling warm, and so you are going to be frustrated.
You get frustrated, yes. Yeah. So you just swallow and you're getting...
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Why?
Yes, yeah, perfect.
I guess I would try to create a nice flirty atmosphere
Uh-huh.
and like butterfly around a little bit, and then maybe try to sense a point where I could come closer and ask very, very carefully.
Little bit.
Really baby steps, and then or I give myself a hard time because I'm not brave enough.
Little bit flirty or a little bit seduction, just like just teasing.
Easy, right?
We also try to find ways to minimize the risk of being rejected.
Yes.
So in a way, like working towards that goal of touching instead of just directly asking.
Yes. Yeah.
I can see, you say what you do instead. I can see this is unconsciously really, mostly I see it later, but that parts of me close down. And then if I don't follow my impulse, parts of me close down. And then later I feel sad that I didn't listen to myself. And also in that closing down, there is a less connection actually than before the impulse was there. So
So it's already 8:15. Time is just flipping by, and I would like to give you the key component for asking for what you want when it comes to permission. Yeah. The question is, may I or can I? Is it okay if I? Yeah. This is making a request and it ends with a question mark. May I touch you? May I feel your hand? May I have your wallet? May I drive your car? May I use your bus stop? May I have permission to do everything to you whenever, however I want, holistically asking you once. And if you feel there is a limit, you say stop. Yeah. So the question "may I" is the key component. But here comes the formula to this request. And this is the most empowering thing that I can give you here today. It is spaciousness. Yeah. So what is spaciousness? Spaciousness is that there is no pressure. Nobody is forcing. Nobody is pushing. You have at any given moment the choice. That is spaciousness. And when you're in spaciousness, there are 4 different things happening in your system. You need to trust. Wrong, backwards. The first one is you notice what you want. Yeah, and this is what we're doing with the object. It's just like we're training that little noticing muscle. We just start to notice what's going on there. What is it that I need? What is it that I want? So you need to notice what you want. You need to trust what you want. You need to value what you want, and you need to communicate what you want. Notice, trust, value, communicate. And the communication is, may I put my hand on your shoulders? May I touch your arm? Yeah? If you're on the wanting side, if you are on the other side and somebody is doing something to you, you do exactly the same thing. You need enough space and time to recognize that this is actually not okay, what's going on here, or it is okay, whatever. And then you do the same thing. You notice what's going on in your body. You trust if it's okay or not okay, your own impulses. You value that. And then you communicate and you say, hey, it's actually okay that you touch me here. Or, I have not heard you asking. Or, do you have a request? Can I help you to make a request? Or is there anything that you would like I can help you with? So this is the consent dynamic around that. And there's so much more, you know. I love that work. I'm so compassionate about that because it opens up the doors into proximity and into connection. But specifically what I love is when this is in place, I like the interpersonal space that comes on top of that. Like what you said, Christoph, the dancing space. And that is, I want that, do you want that too? What is it that we both want? What is it that all involved want? What is it that we want to do together? And that's not permission, that's an invitation. I want that. Do you want that too? That is a complete different dynamic and it changes a lot. Okay, that was the kind of consent part. And is there any question around that? And then I change the gears.
I'm curious
Yes.
still about the spaciousness.
Spaciousness.
Like to not make the other person feel pressure in any way. Because that's something also why I would hold back, like fear of making them feel pressure.
Yes. There's and I don't know if you remember that from the de-armoring training when I did the exercise about saying no.
Which one?
So that we sometimes, you know, before we can say yes to something, we just need to be capable of saying no first. Some other facilitators see that differently. I like it that way because I need to say no. And sometimes I need to find a full yes to my no. And I need to be capable of expressing my no. And then I say something like, no is a full sentence, no doesn't need any explanation, no is an important information for the other persons to know to make another decision. So no is important, you know. And when you find your full yes to your no, then your no becomes powerful and then you can change to maybe to a yes. So now if you ask now another person and you trust your no and you trust your yes, and you ask another person, hey, can I touch you? Can I feel you up? Can I be with you and just have a good time with your body? Can I feel you? And the other person says yes. There are 3 indicators that there is no pressure or force or pushing. The first thing is you need to have a verbal yes from that person when you make that request. Yeah, you need to hear a verbal yes. The second one is you need to see their body language as a yes. You need to feel that they are welcoming and they're inviting you in. They're just like, yeah, sure, just go for it. It's open, you know. My breasts are yours. And the third one is your gut feeling. And if one of the three is a maybe, then it's a no, then you need more information. Yeah? Your gut feeling, their body language, and their verbal answer. Christoph. And then I change gears.
I was wondering right now, is it the same topic when you are in a relationship?
Yes.
Like you said before, so basically when your girlfriend or your wife is I don't know, sitting or standing somewhere, and you come from the back because the room is built up that way, and you walk on your girlfriend, and you put just your hand slightly gently on his shoulder, on her back. Are we talking about the same thing, or is it like a safe space already, for example, at home?
Well, the thing is, if your girlfriend knows or your partner knows that you are around, and you just move towards her and you put your hand on her shoulder, that's totally fine. If she doesn't know that you're there and she's standing at Grand Central Station and you just see her by coincidence, oh my God, it's her, and you go to her and she has no idea you're there and you touch her from behind, she probably does an elbow or something like that. What is a natural response? So from my understanding of the nervous system function of the social engagement system, as social creatures, we need to make eye contact, so face-to-face engagement first, before it comes to any touch. So eye contact before touch, and before touch, hand connection. So I just like, hey, you just shake a hand, just like hi, and then you just like, and then hey, is it okay when I, yeah? So it's just that's, on the social level, as Western civilized people, I guess this is a protocol, but I guess that's different in different cultures. But eye contact first is the social engagement key. Okay, so there is so much more. I love this little kind of frame and container that we created here, and depends on what Monday we do. We have different topics. Sometimes we talk deep about sexual things, and we talk deep about pleasure. We talk deep about relationship. Sometimes we talk about work. Sometimes we share about different dynamics, about spirituality. Sometimes we talk about abuse. It just depends on what people bring who coming to the Monday. And who of you is in the academy already? Who has a little kind of thing there? So this is what we mainly do when we meet on Mondays. We just actually share our humanness in this dynamic of somatic consent. Yeah. This is not a belief system. I don't have any truths hired. I have just the privilege to have 15 years of experience in that realm as a professional and as a facilitator, but I'm as well a human, and I relate with my partner, and I live that. I live what I teach, and I try to walk my talk, and I share my vulnerabilities and my shortcomings and where I'm fucking things up. Yeah, so I share my humanness, and this is what this space is for. So we meet every Monday at 7:00, and we go for 90 minutes. And sometimes we just 2-3 people, and sometimes we 10. It just depends on who is interested. And we have people from all over the world, and different cultures. And I like the diversity. There are a lot of people who have been to the de-armoring training, because this is where I teach at the most at the moment. But what I would like to show you is just a short little thing about the academy, what the academy is, so that you just have an idea. Do you want to see that? Is that okay that I show you that? Yeah? Okay, so then I do that. I just share my screen just shortly. And then I give the one here who wants to be part of the academy a link. So now I have to switch my brain going into technical stuff, and I need to start with this one here. Okay, so Can you see that? Yeah, or you can see. Okay, so this is, I will give you a link in a little bit. This is the landing page. Just like read through, this is who we are, this is what we do. This academy cost in a year $397 for the whole thing, everything. So I will give you a link and you go on that link and you push that button, you try for free. And then you're coming here to a page where you just need to put your name in and your credit card credentials. Sorry, apologies, I cannot bypass that. This is Mighty Network, is very Americanized, but this is how stuff works with credit card. You're in there 1 month for free. If you choose to stay, you will be charged for 1 year $397, and after a month, if you see like, nah, this is not for me, I just rather don't want to be, you just sign out and it doesn't cost you anything. So that's the invitation, that's the free thing. So, and I want to share as well what the academy looks from the inside, if I find the right button here. Where are we? OBS Studio, that's not it. Firefox. God, desktop 2. Okay, I need to change something here. Give me a moment. I changed my one second. I go here. Somatic. I wish my computer would be that fast as I am. Okay. Network.co. Here we go. Okay, and then I share again. And here we go. So, can you see that page where the Somatic Academy is on here? God, this is not the right. I promise I was prepared. Okay, it is this one here. Share. Okay, now you can see it, right? So if you get the link, there is, right now it's live stream. So what I'm saying is live right now, so that other people can watch that live who are in the academy. There is here, when you go on home, here's on the left side, this is where all this material is. And when you here on the home side, there is this page written here. And when you go on page, this is where you find all links. Sorry, it doesn't work. My computer is just like overdone with all the technical stuff. So here you find all the links. There's an onboarding call if you just would like to me to guide you in. You have a 1 hour free session with me that you can book here. This is the Zoom link that you can come on any call, any Monday, any Wednesday hands meditation, any consent lab, and everything that we're doing in the academy is one Zoom link. It's the same link like you hear right now. You can connect with me on WhatsApp or you can send me an email. You find here on the left-hand side under events, when you click there, every event, like for example, the Monday meeting that we do here right now, the hands meditation, and the consent lab once a month. There is a member list and it's far away from Facebook. There is no algorithm, there is no advertising, there are just people like you and I, and you can connect with people here. Ask them first, of course. And then on the left-hand side here, there are all the courses. So there's the foundation course where everything that we have talked today is here. There's a relationship course, the 4 pillars of relating. This is in German. There's a professional mastery that is not really fully done yet. This is as well existing in Spanish, in Dutch, in Portuguese. There is the Orgasmic Blueprint, the videos for the couples retreat that I've done with Gary and with Hildur and other people. There will be videos that I've recorded about myself that you can watch. There's the 5-day challenge. And of course, you can hear a book, the onboarding call. So this is the framework of the Academy, and that works great on the computer, on the PC. And it works as well nice on the phone. I just checked it. So you have access to all this as well on the phone. There is an app and you can download that. I'll put the link as well in the on home here in the, come on, quicker. In home, in pages. So if you're there, you will find that. So my invitation to you is, if you would like to join and just be part of this kind of stuff, then you're more than welcome. And what I will do is I just send you a link, and I send that here in the chat to everyone. And this link allows you to be in there and just look around, see if that's for you, if you want to join, if you want to be part of that, if you want to hang out, come on this call. So that includes for this $397, 90 minutes per week for this Monday call, where you can bring your questions and your concerns and everything that you come up with. The hand meditation, and once a month, the consent lab. The book is there. For some of you who don't know yet, I've published a book called Orgasmic Blueprint, where everything that we're talking about is in there. So you find that there as an EPUB and as a PDF version that you can download and share with other people, and play the 3-minute game and do all this kind of stuff. So please feel free to push the button of that link and then leave the page open, because you cannot copy a link from Zoom here. So leave it open and check it out. And I would like to welcome you and have you join you on the Monday things. This is my invitation to you to be part of that, what we do here. And I would love to see more people. And if you're part of it, you can invite every Monday, every first Monday per month, like some of you are here today, into here what we do, if you have difficulties to explain people what that actually is that we do and how to use it and how to empower other people. That's my invitation. Is 4 minutes past half, so I'm a little bit over time. I apologize. And I would like to have just a few words from each one of you, just to check out what's your aha, what's your takeaway, what are you taking here with you. Either write in the chat or unmute yourself and speak it in the room as you like. Yes, please.
Okay, I'll be quick. That was really pleasant. Thank you so much for reminding how nice it is to touch. Something was important. Asking permission without asking. You don't always have to speak, but observe the person and be very respectful of the space. That's what I mean.
Yes. We are in the checkout, but I would like to say one sentence to that. And this is another mentor and teacher said that to me. In the interpersonal space, when you're around people, asking for permission can be something that is maybe out of the frame. And this teacher, this mentor said to me, if you can't feel that I'm a yes and you need to ask, then I will say no. because you can't feel me. From an interpersonal place. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, somebody else's checkout.
Reminder of, well, I feel grateful, and I take home a reminder of
Sorry, your internet is frozen. Sorry about this digital age where we're all trying to survive.
I jump in while we are waiting for
Yes,
him.
please.
I feel very present and alive in my body. It's like beautiful to remind myself of, even if it's not the connection in the room, this kind of connection is very beautiful, and where we are authentic and
Yeah, thanks for joining today. Per, you were broken. The internet was just please.
Yeah, thank you. Also went away with the hotspots speaking on the phone. Yeah, take away the reminder, the awareness of how when we actually ask for consent and we have a consent, the safety and the freedom that is made possible within that space, within that consent space, and the relaxation that happens. When a consent is clear, and when it's clear between two people. Thanks, and I feel grateful. I said that too.
Yeah, thank you. Game changer for me. Yeah. Where else?
I say thank you. I'm here in this group for, I think it's about 10 months now, and I really love your teaching, Matt, and I can't get enough of this, and it was a really good one today, I thought. And I want to take the opportunity to say hi to Siri Clara.
Yay.
And also to Hildegund. I'm so excited to see you here. We just had a wonderful week in Spain, and spectacular ending, and really excited. Also Jenny, hey. I hope to see you all again here.
Thanks for joining today. Please, Jenny.
Am I muted?
You're good now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to say I've been here also for a while, and it is always stimulating, the ideas, and enlightening, and I see how it's playing out in all of my different relationships, which is allowing me to make different choices and just feel more empowered, in my relationships. And also the class that I've been working through online, the foundations course, it is really good. Very well thought out again, lots of ideas that just feel so relevant to me. Another thing that's happened for me is that I'm just a lot more comfortable talking about sexuality, and just by being part of this group and hearing other people's experience, and I feel less shame around it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Christoph, you raised your hand.
answer to my first question at the beginning.
How not to flip out of your noticing brain and being in the experience of enjoying.
Yeah, did we talk about that? Did I miss it? Or
Not really. Not really. Apologize, but the answer, the overall answer is you do that with the object for 5 minutes a day for at least a month. This is a secret weapon of training your noticing brain and this muscle of being aware and bringing, whenever your attention is flipping around, go somewhere else. When you touch that, you bring it straight back. Thinking about something, bring it back to the sensation. Thinking about feeling something, bring it back to the sensation. That's what you do. It just retrains your brain.
So basically it's just a training like doing
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you for that.
Presence is learnable.
Oh, great. I like it. I have some perspective now.
Who else? Anybody else want to check out?
I sit with what you said in the totally beginning about permission or something. And what I felt in my body then was like I felt so like safe and relaxed and like space. So it was, yeah, I would take that with me. And also the question about why do I don't ask for what I need, and was pop up there and explore that more.
Yes, yeah. Okay, who haven't we heard from? Please. Then I say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for joining here today. Apologies for going a little bit over time. I would love to see you again. Take advantage of this month, you know. I don't expect anybody to stay. If you resonate with what we do, then please join. And I would love to see you again and have you feel here, seen, contributing your life into a little community. Enjoy your evening and love yourself. Bye. Ciao for now. So, and if you like what you have seen and heard here today on this live stream, please like and subscribe. And if you would like to be part of this talk and sit not only on the outskirt of YouTube and watch a live, if you want to be part of this community and ask questions and join and jump in and be with us and asking your questions and share your situations and where do you struggle and where can you be empowered. There's a link somewhere here around the video in the description somewhere else. Please join. And as I said that already, like and subscribe. That helps the algorithm on YouTube at least. And we'll love to see you either the next monthly Monday or to Consent Lab or to another Monday where we go really deep. All right, take care. And that's it for here today. Bye-bye.